Hello guys, hello. So today we'll be learning A plus RAM stuff, okay? Good. So let's begin. What is a primary function for RAM in a computer? And tell me, what does RAM stand for? RAM stands for Random Access Memory, and it provides volatile working memory for the CPU, and the programs are loaded from the storage to the RAM for execution. Okay? What is virtual memory and when is it used? Virtual memory uses a page file on the storage device when physical RAM is full and causing slowdowns and disk thrashing. What is the role of a memory controller chip, MCC? It manages the data flow between CPU and RAM. What is SDRAM and its typical pin count? Synchronous dynamic random access memory uses a system clock timing, and it has 168-pin dual inline memory modules for desktop and 144 202-pin of the system on small outline dual inline memory module for laptops. What is DDR and how does it improve performance over the SDRAM? Double data rate RAM transfers data from both rising and falling clock edges. Rising and falling clock edges, and it uses the 184-pin dual inline memory module. What are the key features of the DDR3 RAM? It has lower voltage, 1.4 V, and higher speed XMP support. What does XMP stand for? XMP stands for Extreme Memory Profile. Extreme Memory Profile support. 240-pin dual inline memory module and 204-pin small outline memory module. Small outline dual inline memory module. What improvements does DDR4 offer over DDR3? It has higher density, up to 640 gigabyte stick, and it has a lower voltage, which is 1.4 V, and uses 288-pin dual inline memory modules. What distinguishes DDR5 from DDR4? DDR5 offers high bandwidth, lower voltage, which is 1.4 V, onboard PMIC, and the supports up to 256 gigabytes per stick. What distinguishes DDR5 from DDR4? It offers, we already did this. DDR5 offers higher bandwidth. It offers higher bandwidth voltage, and it has a lower voltage, which is 1.4 onboard PMIC. What does PMIC stand for? It stands for Power Management Integrated Circuit. Power Management Integrated Circuit. Okay, and it supports up to 256 gigabytes per sticks. Are DDR generation backward compatible? No. DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, DDR5 are not physically or electronically compatible. What is the proper mention to install the proper method? What is the proper method to install random access memory in a desktop? You power off, you ground yourself, you align the dual inline memory module notch with the slot, and you press firmly until it clicks snap. How do you install a SODIMM. SODIMM stands for Small Outline Dual Inline Memory Module, RAM, in a laptop. You insert it at a 45 angle into the slot, then snap it down flat into place. How do you install? Oh, we already did this. What is dual channel memory architecture? Two identical RAM sticks installed in matching color-coded slots to double bandwidth. These are two identical random access memory sticks that are installed in matching color-coordinated slots to double bandwidth. Why is the 2x4 gigabytes dual channel faster than 2x8 gigabytes single channel? The dual channel increases data throughput by allowing simultaneous access to memory modules. Dual inline increases data throughput, allowing simultaneous access to two memory modules. What are the common symptoms of faulty RAM? BSOD, what does that stand for? Blue screen of death in Windows. And SPOD. SPOD stands for spinning pinwheel of death. In Mac OS, these are page faults, system lockups, excessive disk thresh. What tools can you use to test RAM? You use the Windows Memory Diagnostic and the MEMTest 86. What are the first steps of troubleshooting a RAM? You reinsert the modules, you test each stick individually, you replace any faulty one. What is the difference between ECC and non-ECC RAM? ECC RAM detects and corrects single-bit errors, slower and used in servers. Non-ECC is the standard in desktop. What does CAS latency measure in RAM? CAS stands for column address strobe latency. And these looks at the time delay between the command and the data availability. The lower the CL, the faster the access. What is the difference between single-sided and double-sided RAM? Double-sided RAM has chips on both sides. Some motherboards may not support it. What is the purpose of XMP or AMP profiles in the DDR3 and DDR4 RAM? What does XMP stand for again? Extreme memory profile. And these extreme memory profiles, okay, so we know what AMD stands for, right? It stands for Advanced Micro Devices. That's the manufacturer. Cool. But AMP stands for memory profiles that come from AMD. So it's called AMD memory profiles. That's what AMP stands for. Anyway, so this enables the predefined overclocking settings to boost memory performance. What can happen if the RAM speed or latency are mismatched? The system instability or crashes. It causes a system instability or it crashes. Okay, so what happens if you exceed the motherboard's supported random access memory capacity? System may not boot or may not recognize all installed memory. What is the pin count for DDR3 or dual inline memory modules? 240 pins. What is the pin count for DDR4 DDMs? 288 pins. What is the pin count for DDR5 DIMMs? 288, but not compatible with dual in DDR4. What is the mnemonic to remember DDR pin counts and features? DDR3 240, DDR4 288, DDR5 PMIC. Power Management Integrated Circuit. What does MTS mean in RAM specifications? Mega transfers per second. Actually, number of data transfers per second. Convert DDR4 3200 to PC ratings. DDR4 3200 is equal to PC4 25600. 25,600. What is the speed of DDR5 4800 in PC ratings? That is equal to what? It's equal to PC5 32,400. 38,400. 38,400. What is the recommended RAM for Windows 10 or Windows 11? Minimum 8 gigabytes recommended, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes for workstations. How can you check your RAM compatibility with your system? You just use the CPU Z or you consult the motherboard manual. Is it okay to mix the RAM speeds? No, not ideal. If unavoidable, all sticks will return at the speed of the slowest one. Is it okay to mix RAM speeds? We already did that one. Okay, so what is one die ECC in DDR5? This would be the built-in error correction within the RAM chip, not the same as a server grade ECC RAM. Okay, what is the role of the PMIC chip in the DDR5? Power Management Integrated Circuit that moves voltage regulation from the motherboard to the RAM module. What does quad channel architecture require? 4 identical RAM sticks installed in specific motherboard slots to maximize the memory bandwidth. And we have finished. Next.